What up, homies of the interwebs? This is Lugnuts.Guapo coming at you from good old Maverick Harley-Davidson. That is where we're working today, and got a chance to escape work for a second, and we're gonna review the one bike that y'all keep asking me about. It is the SportGlide. Roll that intro. So yeah, woo! I'm stoked, man. It's been a hot minute since I've ridden a SportGlide. Maybe about 2 months since I last rode a SportGlide. This is the second generation, if you want to call it that. Yes, this a 2020. So it came out in 2019. The one thing I already know that I don't like about the 2020 is that you only get one key fob, which is kind of across the board from basically every single model except the CVO. So, let's get to it, shall we? Roll the tape. Man, darkness is falling upon us. I need to make this a snappy. Woo! So just this thing, just the camera. Woo! Let's get rolling. So SportGlide, man, I remember when this bike first came out and they released photos. Oh my gosh, the hatred! It was unreal. It was just too much, man. Especially coming from the Dyna Bros, the Dyna Brosives. Yep. So, what is there about the SportGlide that either you hate or love or whatever? Well, first of all, M8, big plus. A lot of people wish that this came with a 114, but I can understand why they didn't. So, I mean, obviously you want to save money. You don't want to make two different, models. I mean, be the same model but with two different engines. That's just production-wise. But a lot of people think of this because they see the front end is inverted. They're like, man, that is a performance motorcycle. And yes, while of course it's a fast motorcycle and it handles pretty decently, like really well actually. That's not necessarily what this bike was intended to be. Now, if you look back to the times of the Evos and twin cams, and you see the Dyna convertible, the Dyna T-Sport, the Dyna switchback, well, you could probably exclude the switchback. That was kind of like a road queen, or you get what I'm saying. No hate on that bike, other than it shakes like nobody's business. I'm sure people love him, and I kind of grew to love him. I absolutely hated that bike for the longest time. Anyways, I still can't get over the look of this fairing. I don't know, I can't get over it. They do sell a taller windshield, and I've seen a couple people rock that, and man, it works pretty well for them. So, blocking wind, it's alright. I mean, right there, it's hitting, if air's hitting right at my chest, right where my nipples are. So if it's cold and you're not wearing a jacket, that's exactly where the air is going to hit you, and I'm about 6 foot. So, you got the forward controllers. I always call them like semi-forwards because I mean, I've been on bikes or other older Harleys that have forward controllers, and your feet are like way stretched out. If you saw the last FXR video that I did, that's kind of how it was, which can be comfortable, but this kind of gives you that, like, okay, I'm comfortable, but I'm a little edgy. I can go around corners, no problem. Which, speaking of corners, going around a corner, it's with this particular bike, I mean, it handles really well because it got that inverted front end and whatnot. You definitely have the clearance with the soft toe frame, but you will drag those pegs faster than you would have, they were located right in the middle if you had mid controllers. So that's just how it is. I would put mids on this. I know my buddy Billy, the one that let me borrow his FXR, he also has, actually in the same color, has a SportGlide with a TXR frame from RWD, and he put mids on it, absolutely loves it. A lot of people were like, whoa, Harley screwed up, why didn't they put mids? Well, this is more of a not necessarily a handling machine, but this is more for like road trips, hence the bags, hence the mini fairing. This is the most versatile brain fart. Anyways, it is the most versatile motorcycle that Harley-Davidson sells. So man, I can't even remember the words I was trying to use in regards to comparing this to a something like a lowrider S. Obviously, handling wise, it is great. It's not going to compare to a lowrider S, which has been de-raked. All the raking and de-raking happens on the trees. They don't actually do the raking on the neck. That way, production wise, and I mean, that would make sense, right? You don't want to make a bajillion different types of frames. It's probably cheaper and easier to take care of that with the triple trees. So I thought I heard a beep. I was like, oh no, footage is ruined. Anyways, so you got the big inverted front end, and a lot of people are like, well, if it's not supposed to like be a handling machine, then what's the point of the inverted front end? Well, I am glad you asked. If you recall the V-Rod, like the V-Rod muscle and whatnot, inverted front ends, terrible geometry, handled like garbage, but can you imagine what it would be like with regular suspension? Woo, not gonna make it. Well, brakes are pretty amazing. Yeah, so when you rake something out, which by the way, I feel like for two reasons they raked it: rideability, since you're gonna, you know, made for more of like a smaller traveling motorcycle, and what was that? Oh yeah, and looks. Harley's always been about looks most of the time. Whether you think they've nailed it in the past or not, so I just hint FXDR. Mixed bag of feelings on that bike, but yeah, I mean, kind of give it that little chopper feel, like the wide glide, you know. It just rakes it out a little bit. It's nice, right? Good, but anyways, inverted front end handles. Hey, what's up, Holmes? Handles way better because the suspension reacts better because it's an inverted front end when it's raked, as opposed to if it just had a regular suspension that wasn't inverted. So rideability 100% helps a ton. So why would you buy, say, SportGlide versus I don't know, a Heritage? Well, easy. It just, this motorcycle, you just feel part of this motorcycle. You don't get that with the Heritage. You just don't. Two, this is super versatile. You can take the bags, and sure, you can take the bags off of the you know, the Heritage. You can also take the windshield off of the Heritage, but the Heritage doesn't have the inverted front end, and I think the Heritage is actually a little bit more expensive than this, and doesn't have an inverted front end. And this, I mean, this handles great, man. You feel part of the motorcycle, which is kind of the only thing that I liked about the old Heritage, is you felt like you were part of it. You're in the bike, you're sitting so low, the tank is within your field of vision. It just gave you that sensation of like, I am part of the motorcycle and the motorcycle is part of me. You don't get that with the new Heritage. You absolutely get that with this motorcycle. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first got on this bike, I wasn't too thrilled about it, didn't really like it that much, but as I've gotten to ride it and experience it in different settings, this bike is actually pretty awesome. Still not a huge fan of the little mini Batwing fairing looking thing, but you know, that's just personal opinion, that's just aesthetic. So I do like how the quick detach works on it. It's pretty easy, user friendly. So man, I always keep picking the wrong time to do these videos, just traffic all over, traffic galore. But anyways, this is a small maneuverable bike. If you were looking to like, well, why not get a touring bike if it's, you know, meant for traveling? Well, like again, it's a versatile bike. How often are you planning to go on long trips? Well, maybe not all the time. Oh, well, this is a great option then. You can strip it down, take the fairing, everything. You can take everything off. Whew, I'm going for it. What the heck was that? Just honking at me for no reason. Anyways, avoiding all situations. Literally saw an accident earlier today. Yep, on the highway. This is just Dallas, I-35, Dallas in general. Whew. Ugh. It's horrible. And as as we continue to speak about the SportGlide, well, what is there about this that, you know, you don't know about? It's been out for a year. It handles great. Not the best handling. You could probably fix that with just changing the trees, quite honestly. It looks good, in my opinion, minus the fairing. The price point, I think, is better than the Heritage. You get the hardbacks. Oh my gosh, those backs are so stinking expensive. Like, have you looked up how much these bags cost? Or any hardback for that matter. You get any of the old style clamshells, I mean, just look into it. They're expensive, and these Harley ones are very much expensive. I will point out one thing that was pointed out to me, and I can't unsee it, and I wish I didn't know about it, but the right saddlebag is actually shorter. I keep it a saddlebag. The right hardback is shorter than the left one because that's where the exhaust goes. But Harley did a really good job aesthetically making it look like they're the same size. So good job, Harley, on that one. Anyways, again, so rideability as opposed to maneuverability. I think that's why they did the 107. I mean, everybody knows that this bike, you can upgrade the motor so easily and so cheaply compared to what the twin cam used to be. You can get a ton of horsepower and a ton of torque just by changing a cam and doing a stage 1, which, again, 1 cam, not 2 cams. I mean, there's a list goes on. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. For more, is there something that I missed or something that you want me to talk about? Let me know in the comment section. Like, share, all that jazz. And in the meantime, get on your Harley and get some wind therapy. Hasta luego.